Hey guys, welcome to Getting Through Your Homework with Griff. So what we have here is this is 1-4 homework. This is our formulas review, and I'm just going to take you through the backside because I believe we finished most of the front side in class. So the first video that we're going to do is this one, naming the following compounds. We're going to worry just about this first column, and then we'll work to the other side of the column. There. Alright, so what we need to do is, in this first column, we need to name the following compounds. Which means, when we name our compounds, we have to identify whether they're type 1, type 2, or covalent. And we do that by looking at the first element listed. So every single time, we're going to check out this first element. And we're going to work these one at a time. So let's start with chromium. We've got Cr. We find it on our periodic table, and hopefully everybody's identifying it as type 2. So I'm going to put a 2 over here. Type 2 ionic means that we need Roman numerals. So we have to actually figure out the charge of chromium. So there are a couple of ways we can do that. We can do the reverse crisscross, but in this video I'm going to show you the mathematical way because maybe it'll help some of us remember, and maybe not. We'll do both ways if we need to. So we've got Cr. Everybody agrees that I have one Cr and two OHs. Because of this 2 right here, that says we have 2 OHs. And I look on my periodic table on the polyatomic ions, and OH, each OH has a charge of -1, which when I add those charges up, that gives me -2. So over here, we have to have all the negatives adding up to be 0, well, all the negatives adding up to positives to make 0. So we know chromiums all have to add up to be 0. So chromium has to be a +2 charge because that's the only option we have. We need +2 here to subtract out the -2 so they cancel out. So chromium has to be +2, and that's what our Roman numeral is about. So we're going to say chromium 2 hydroxide. And that's our answer right there. Okay? So let's move on down. Now we've got Al2O3. We look at Al on the periodic table. We should see that it is type 1. All right? Al is colored in our type 1 manner. So we're going to say type 1. And to name this very simply, on type 1s, all you do is name what you have. So we've got aluminum, which is the name of the cation. Then we have oxygen, which we changed to oxide. No prefixes, no Roman numerals in type 1. So we just say aluminum oxide. Okay? As we roll down, we've got SeO2. Se, we should see it's on the right side. It's a nonmetal. So we're going to say it's covalent, right? Remember, we check out the first one. And it's covalent. So we've got Se, which means we use prefixes on covalent, prefixes. So we're going to say selenium dioxide. Remember, we don't use mono on the first element, we just use it on the second element. We use mono on the second element, we use all the other prefixes on both of them. All right? Awesome, rolling on. We go to PCl3. P is also under the covalent area, so again, we just use prefixes. We only have one phosphorus, but we never use mono on the first one, so we're just going to say phosphorus. And then we have 3 chlorines, so we're going to say trichloride. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one. Letter E here. We have Ni. Ni is type 2. We see Ni, nickel is in the middle. All right, so if we break it down by charges, we've got Ni and we've got HSO3. That whole thing is -1. It's on the top of our periodic table in the polyatomic ion area. So we've got that being -1, and we only have one of those. This whole entity is -1. All right. So we need a +1 here, so they add up to be 0. So Ni has to be +1. So we're just going to say nickel 1 bisulfite, which is the name of HSO3 on the top of our periodic table. Okay, keep rolling. Next one, we're moving down. We've got N. N is nitrogen. It's covalent. So we're going to say nitrogen. Uh-oh, we forgot something. What should we put there? Dinitrogen, because we have 2 nitrogens. And then we're going to say monoxide. All right, as we keep rolling, we get to letter G here. We've got K. If we check it out, it's type 1. You can hear my dogs chewing on their bones in the background. They're obviously not being quiet, even though I asked them to when I was recording. All right, so we've got K, which is potassium. And all we have to do is find ClO4 up on the top of our periodic table, and that one is perchlorate. All right, rolling down to H. We've got 3 left. We see Na, also type 1. All right, right above K, actually. So we've got Na, so we're going to say sodium. Then MnO4 also tells us we have a polyatomic ion, so we're going to say permanganate. This is found on the top of our periodic table again. Awesome. These last 2 are type 2s. We've got Cr2O3. So if we write it out, we have how many Crs? That's right, we have 2. How many O's do we have? Hopefully you said 3 because there's a 3 there, so we got 2 and 3. -2, -2, -2, which gives us -6. This over here has to be +6. So what times 2 gives us +6? That's right, +3. So chromium is +3. So we've got chromium 3 oxide is the name of that compound. All right, rolling on to the last one. We already said it was type 2, but if we check out Fe, it is in our type 2 area. So if we write that out over here, we have 1 Fe and 3 Brs. All right, everybody agrees with 3 Brs because of that 3 right there. Now, if each Br is -1, got that right there, add those up, that gives us -3. So over here, this has to be +3. That way they add up to be 0. So what times 1 gives me 3? That's right, +3. So iron has to be +3. So we're going to say iron 3 bromide. So probably the toughest thing to remember here is that this Roman numeral, right, the Roman numeral is the charge. And so we have to find it. We can either use the mathematical way or we can do the reverse crisscross. All right, thanks. See you on the next one.